Hallo my pragtige dames. Oh, I'm talking in Afrikaans. I'm so used to talking to Anda in Afrikaans. Hello everyone. I just greeted you in Afrikaans. Goeiemiddag is a beautiful good afternoon in our home language, South Africa. We do speak Afrikaans in South Africa as our home language. So I hope that you are excited for today's show. So today we are on episode 9, Soul of a Diamond, and we've got Anda Grobbelaar all the way from Cape Town that will come and tell us her story. And when I met Anda for the first time, wow, I remember we were talking even more than what the coffee time that we had put aside, and the story was so incredible. I am truly fortunate to and humbled to have met her through another friend of us. So I'm truly excited for this. My beautiful diamond beauties, if you give us love, please remember, because we are a private group, put your name in the front and your message, or your message and then your name at the back. So in our show today, I am not going to give you a shout out. I will only show your love, your comments that you are bestowing on us. And then it's Anda's time. She's going to tell her story, but I will show your comments. So my beautiful ladies and gentlemen, if there is a few gentlemen, and my beautiful diamond beauties, are you ready for Soul of a Diamond? I am ready. Anda, are you ready?
I am ready.
Oh, wow, amazing. My beautiful Anda, please can you introduce yourself and tell us where are you from?
Yes, hello. Thank you so much, Samek, for the opportunity this afternoon. Hello, everybody. My name is Anda Grobbelaar, and I'm from the beautiful city, Cape Town in South Africa. I am a future life designer. I choose that word instead of a life coach because it gives you something to look forward to. I am an internationally published author of 3 books, and one of them I've co-authored with 10 women in India on working mothers and how to balance your life and overcoming adversity. A second book was called Grail, Tick Your Life Out with Purpose, which I co-authored with 39 authors from 6 countries around the world. And that book is about finding purpose in your life. And then the third book, the one that started everything in my life, is called Bibi's Story. And this is a story about my stillbirth of my second daughter at 9 months. So this is where everything started. But in all of this, I have the privilege of also being a philanthropist and taking care of 2 charities in India. One is for the aged community, and one is for children with mental disability. So I'm extremely excited to share my story with you this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Wow, I'm truly excited. My beautiful Anda, tomorrow I am going to go to the airport and I am flying to Cape Town. So I am so excited to be able to meet you also this coming week. I am going to spend some time with our beautiful editor, Diamond Moment Magazine, and it's going to be amazing, amazing. But my beautiful Anda, before you tell your story, may I show you the gift I made you to say thank you for being on the show?
Oh, please do. Thank you.
Here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm a future life designer, and my name is Anda Grobbelaar. I am from the beautiful city of Cape Town. I have been privileged to co-author a book with 10 women in India on women with power. I have been fortunate to co-author a book with 39 authors from 6 countries on finding purpose in your life. I have also authored my own book about Bibi's story, which tells the journey that we as a family navigated our way from grief to gratitude when she was stillborn 22 years ago. It is my passion to teach people about the grief process process so that they don't become stuck in their lives. And I'm looking forward to my discussion with you.
That is so beautiful. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Did you see the green, the
I
sparkles?
agree. I
I love
loved it.
I love it. So, my beautiful Anda, you are welcome to start anywhere with your story. You are a soul of a diamond. You are part of the Diamond Beauty Group. And I'm truly honored to hear your story and provide you with this amazing platform that is going out to I don't know how many women all around the world, not only to the Diamond Beauties, but also to the network. And we don't know who's going to see our episode and who is going to find a healing, found an answer in your story. So you are welcome to start.
Thank you so much, Sanit. So, my story is about grief, the process of grief, understanding the process, and then finding gratitude in your grief. Because grief is messy. And if you don't understand the process, it is so easy to become stuck in your life with your grief. And when that happens, you actually live in the past and you live your life on autopilot going forward in the future. And that is not what I want for people. I want people to live a full and happy life. So my story started on the 1st of August 2001 when Bibi was stillborn at 9 months. And we called her Bibi, but her name was Analda. I had a 4-year-old daughter at the time, Lanae, and Lanae couldn't get to Analda. It was too much for her. So she originally named Bibi Sunflower, and then Sunflower somehow changed into Bibi. So when Bibi was stillborn, Lanaiki was very angry with me. She didn't want anything to do with me because she didn't understand what was going on. She was looking forward to this little baby that was going to come home with us so much that she actually, when I was pregnant, told her father she only wants a sister, and if it's a boy, he can take it back. That is how much she wanted her sister. So, understandably, when I came home that evening without her sister, she was not happy. But there's so many coincidences between Lanae and Bibi because Lanae was born on the 8th of January, Bibi, which is 0801, and Bibi was born on the 1st of August, 0108. Um, that night when I came home, the movie that was on Mnet, I'll never forget, was the Titanic. Okay. To this day, Lanae refuses to watch Titanic. To this day, Lanae refuses to listen to the song of Titanic as sung by Celine Dion because the memories for her of not having her sister coming home is so big. But we were blessed 3 years later with another little girl called Underlay. And Underlayki is just this live wire in this house, and she really makes up for us having lost Bibi. And Lanae adores her little sister. But why I decided to write my book was because I wanted people to understand that when a traumatic experience happens to you, in my case, a stillbirth at 9 months of my baby, in somebody else's case, a life partner, husband, wife of 40 years or 20 years, or a child of 20 years or 30 years, or the loss of a job, the loss of a pet, the loss of a house, the loss of income, it doesn't matter. Trauma happens to each one of us, and it's important that we understand that. So, in our grieving process, what I did was every morning I would open the shutters in Lanae's room and I would pull up the blinds and I would say, "Good morning, world, and God, thank you for this new day." And then I will make her look at the different colors in our garden. You know, when the sun shines on grass, it's much greener than what it is in the shade. So I would show her that and I would ask her, what is that blue? And she'll say, no, it's not blue in the sky, it's gray. And we'll talk about that. And we'll look at when the roses start budding. You know, every day the roses are budding. Where does the sun come from? Now the flower's over, there's a rose, the other rose. So I showed her how to focus on that in terms of responsibility.
Anda, Anda, I'm not sure why, but now I cannot hear you properly. It's like your microphone is just covered or something. Can you just check for me?
Sure.
Okay, much better, much better. I think it's because when you lift your hands up, it's like
Oh,
it was
probably.
okay. So I'm so sorry to you are welcome to continue.
So, you know, having this little 6-year-old daughter that you need to explain the process of grief and why did you come home and what will happen after was wonderful.
No,
And
I'm sorry, Anna, there's still something wrong with your microphone. So I am gonna, if you can just check for me, I will bring you back into the studio in 1 second. 1 second.
yeah,
My beautiful ladies, I hope that you are enjoying your day. Anda is quickly just looking at her microphone because it doesn't come out. So just give us a few seconds. And then what I will do in the meanwhile, I am going to play beautiful Anda's video. Here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm a future life designer, and my name is Anda Grobbelaar. I am from the beautiful city of Cape Town. I have been privileged to co-author a book with 10 women in India on women with power. I have been fortunate to co-author a book with 39 authors from 6 countries on finding purpose in your life. I have also authored my own book about Bibi's story, which tells the journey that we as a family navigated our way from grief to gratitude when she was stillborn 22 years ago. It is my passion to teach people about the grief process so that they don't become stuck in their lives, and I'm looking forward to my discussion with you.
Okay, my beautiful Anda, let us try again.
okay, good. So, in this process, apart from helping Lanaki to understand this, I also had my husband to help him understand his grief. And what he did, he wrote this absolutely beautiful letter to Bibi to say how much we were looking forward to having her as part of our family and how sad we are that she's not joining us, but that one day we will all meet when we gather around in heaven. And then about 4 years, 8 years later, when Lene was 12, the magic started happening. She came home one day and she said, I know how we can celebrate Bibi's birthday this year. So I said, what are we going to do? And she said, CHOP. The hospital for children with cancer was at the school. And what we can do is we can actually have an angel party. And all the friends that would have come to Bibi's birthday can bring presents. And then we can take the presents and we can give it to the children at stop at CHOP. So for the last 18 years, that is exactly what we have been doing every single year. But I've been so privileged in that some of my clients have donated money and we have revamped the 3 houses on the premises where the parents stay. So we made it a little bit more comfortable for them, putting new furniture in, carpeting, air conditioning. We installed a sound system from the rooms to the theatre so that when the children are taken to the theatre, they have this beautiful, soft, soothing music playing for them. But every year there are people that are just, they come there and the youngest child that I saw was 3 months old, and she had cancer. And her mother couldn't afford to buy a toothbrush and toothpaste for herself because the parents need to be self reliant and they need to bring their own necessities and clothing, food, soap, face cloths, those kind of things. So every year, it is the highlight of my year to go around and to get people to donate to this cause in celebrating Bibi's birthday and giving back to the children with cancer. So that is what we do, and that is what I would like other people to find in their lives. That they can have something like this, and it doesn't necessarily need to be an angel party because it's not going to work for everybody. We need to understand that. And how I process grief will be different to how you process grief. And how I find gratitude in my grief will be different to how you find gratitude in your grief. But the thing is, people need to understand that they have a choice with grief. You can move forward with your grief, or you can stay stuck in your grief. The choice is yours. If it's up to me, I would want to help you to move forward with your grief and to understand the process and to find the beauty in your life again, in the world around you, and in your grief. So often, when somebody that we love passed away, the first thing we do is we remove all their clothing out of the cupboards, we remove the photographs off the walls and off the shelves because we don't want to be reminded of our grief because it's too sore, it's too close, too far. And that's fine if that works for you, but you still need to process your grief because if you do not do that, it will come out and manifest in different ways later, which could make you really sick. It can take you off the road completely. And that is what I would like to avoid. So that is my story in short. After writing and making so many notes during our process of processing our grief, my husband said, "Why don't you write your own book?" So I wrote Bibi's story. That is how it came about. And then 2, 3 years ago, I was bored one day and I sat scrolling around on Facebook and I came across a course by Arfin Khan in India, Speak to a Fortune. So I thought, let me do this course because then I can get an opportunity to tell my story to the world and make a difference to people's lives. So I did that. And out of that, I got to publish Bibi's story internationally. But then another magical thing happened with me. A year later, I was nominated to work with David Nair, an excellence performance coach in Australia. So I then did that and I started his mastermind on mental resilience. And I got the opportunity to co author Grail with 39 other authors around the world. One day, I was sitting next to my husband and I was saying to him, all these people in India are so excited because they're going to launch our book in India, and I'm sitting in the bottom of South Africa and I'm not going to be there. And the very next minute, I received a WhatsApp from David saying, "Come to India, I'm inviting you."
Wow.
So I got to go on this road show for 25 days, touring through India, promoting our book, spending every single moment with David. It was such an incredible highlight of my life. And in that time, I realized the value of mental resilience. Mental resilience, I thought when I wrote Bibi's book and I said, I'll just teach people about the grief process and help them find gratitude, is one thing. But becoming mentally strong and finding that purpose in your life, that is what it's all about. Because once you have that purpose, your life will never be the same again. So for me, I just absolutely love what I do. I have now developed a mastermind of grief and gratitude. So I had the tools, I had the experience, and I believe that I can make a difference.
Incredible, incredible. And when you went through India, was there some place that was standing out for you?
Oh, India is such a magical country. It's so spiritual, and I absolutely loved experience that spirituality everywhere we went. And then also they have all these different rituals, which is so, for me, intriguing. Because as you know, in South Africa, we don't really have many of those. So I really enjoyed the spirituality and the rituals in India. But I must tell you, we worked really hard. We went to 8 cities in 25 days doing 45 deliveries. So we were busy. But India is definitely a magical place, and I'll be back there probably in April next year to promote our new book that we are going to write on finding purpose in your life.
Amazing. You can continue with your beautiful story, my beautiful Anda.
Okay, thank you so much. So when Lanaki started warming up to me after Bibi's stillbirth, she came one day and she gave me a little white paper plate and she had drawn a picture on there. And the picture was mommy crying long tears but have a smile on her face. And I had a dot in my stomach, and Len, my husband, was standing next to me, and Lanaki was in the picture as well. So I said to her, please explain to me your picture. And she said, because the tears and the smile and the dot. So she said, Mommy's very sad and you cry because Bibi is dead. But when I come to you, then you smile. And the dot in your stomach is Bibi that Daddy put there. And that was her way to now finally tell me that she understood what was going on. And that picture is one of my prized possessions, as you can understand.
Yes. Wow.
You know. So, but I must also tell you that in all of this, you go through your own grief process, but the world still carries on around you. And people who are not in your shoes and who have not yet experienced grief does not understand the emotions that you go through because you go through so many emotions in one day. You can be up and smiling one moment and just burst into tears the next moment. And I remember I had to go to a shopping mall, Tiger Valley in Cape Town. And I was walking in the mall, and these people were just walking there and they were smiling. And some of them looked at me. And all I wanted to do was to shout out to them, can't you see how broken my heart is because my baby is dead? But of course, they wouldn't understand that. And that's not something that you can do. So you need to learn how to master those emotions as well. And then when you go back to work, there is that reintegration into the workplace that you need to go through. Because some people will come to you and genuinely say that they are sorry about your loss and they will support you and they will nurture you. But then there are some people who does not know what to say, so they will just avoid you. And originally, when people avoided me in the workplace, I thought, how rude of them. The least you can say is that you're sorry, my baby is dead. And only afterwards I understood that they didn't know how to talk to me.
Yes.
So
Wow.
in Bibi's story, I also um, spend some time on what should you say to a grieving person and what you should not say to a grieving person, how you can help a grieving person, and all of those little things are in the book. But then there are also those people that are just negative, and those people I want to tell you, just cut them out of your life because you don't need that. You don't need to hear their negativity. And if you don't feel like going out, you don't have to go out. It's not your responsibility to entertain anybody. It's your time to grieve. And when you grieve, you need to go through those emotions. You need to feel those emotions and you need to understand those emotions. And even though you're doing that, you know, one day you'll make a giant leap forward and then you'll go 5 steps back in your grief. So Elizabeth Kubler-Ross has identified 5 steps in the grief process, and these steps do not necessarily follow one after the other. So you can go from step 1 to step 3, and then back to step 2, and then forward to step 4, and back to step 1. And it takes a period of between 18 months and 2 years before you actually complete your grieving process. So if people tell you after 3 months, and I'm fine, don't worry about me, they're not fine. They may have buried their grief, which means they're not dealing with their grief, which means later on it's going to come out and hit them behind their heads and they're going to fall flat on their faces. So that is what I do. That is how I want to help people. And that is how I find gratitude. And it sounds really strange to some people that my baby died for a reason. And this is the reason.
Wow, it's beautiful. I know if people didn't go through this, then it's difficult to understand because I always say you have to be in somebody's shoes to really, really understand. And yes, yeah, and like you said, some people don't really know what to say. And I love it that you have put it in the book so that they can read Bibi's story and also read what I can say and not can say. And I love it as well. If people don't come with the program, not the program, your program, it's okay for you to let him go. I love that. I love it. You are welcome to continue, my beautiful one.
Thank you. You know, I actually want to read you a poem that I got from one of my friends. And when you get these poems and you get those special WhatsApp messages, you need to hold on to them because that gives you strength and helps you to carry on days when you are really not wanting to get out of bed. But the poem goes like this: just for today, decide to be happy today, to live with what is yours, your family, your business, your job, your luck. If you can't have what you like, maybe you can like what you have. Just for today, be kind, cheerful, agreeable, responsive, caring, and understanding. Dress your best, be your best, talk softly, look for the bright side of things. Praise people for what they do and don't criticize them for what they cannot do. If someone does something stupid, forgive and forget. After all, it's just for one day, and who knows, it might turn out to be a nice day.
Wow, I love it. I've got goosebumps. It's beautiful. And
So,
when
you know,
sorry, when you saw this for the first time and you read through it, what went through your mind?
when I got this poem from a very special friend and I read it for the first time, I just burst into tears because even though I was so sad, this poem is what made me realize that if I do not start focusing on something positive in my life, I'm going to spiral down in this dark hole of depression, and I need to do something right now.
Amazing.
So, this is the power that a simple poem or simple WhatsApp message can have in your life. And that is why it's so important to hold on to that. And that brings me back to gratitude. That is why gratitude is so big in my life. Um, you know, gratitude is the attitude of your heart. Gratitude makes you count your blessings every day. It makes you live in the moment with contentment and a sense of wonder. And when you live with gratitude, you are always right where you should be. Each moment that you live in gratitude brings new possibilities, and it's an extraordinary feat. And what I have learned in that time, like I said, when I showed Lene the different shades of green or blue in the sky, or the sun is shining or the sun is not shining, when you look at things with gratitude, the things that you look at changes. And that is important because you need to acknowledge your grief, but you should not become stuck in your grief. And the only way you cannot become stuck in your grief is when you look at something different, when you look at something positive. You know, I have a friend, Yanzi, and we are still friends today. And at the time when Bibi passed away, she was so helpful and she was such a pillar of strength for me. And she would say, "Come, I'm going to come and fetch you. We're going to go for tea." I'll say, "I don't want to go for tea because I don't want to go for tea." And she'll say, "I'm not taking no for an answer. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Make sure you're dressed. And if you're not dressed, I will dress you." You know, but it's friends like that that also helps you to move forward and to come back to reality in your grief.
Wow.
So what we did with Vivi, I must just tell you, because this for me is so, and again, it might sound really strange to some people, but we had Vivi cremated. And I have Vivi sitting on my shelf in a little silver canister. You can see the lid has been secured with a screw, so she can't fall out. But every now and then, when I miss her, then I will pick her up and I'll shake her and I'll say, "Wake up, wake up, wake up. We're going for a walk." And we'll go for a walk, or she'll go to work with me. Or if I miss her really badly, I'll put her underneath my pillow and she can sleep there with me. And then when I buy flowers for my girls, she gets flowers. When it's Christmas, we put a little angels around her, we put a candle around her, and we just celebrate her. And the reason why I do that is even though she was stillborn and she didn't live a single day with us in our house, she was still part of our family. And she
Mm.
needs to be remembered, and she needs to be recognized, and she needs to be celebrated. And now she's become this little beacon of light for other people in their lives. So, you know, Bibi is just such an inspiration to me, to our family. And now, because of all of these things that are happening to me, she's becoming an inspiration to the world.
Exactly. So beautiful. When you told me the story, your story for the first time, I was like blown away. I was blown away by how did you do it? How did you relook at everything? Because actual fact, this is the first time I ever heard somebody grieve the way that you did, and it was incredible for me. So you please continue with your story, my beautiful Anda.
So, grief is not easy and it's not easy to process. And again, that is why I want people to understand this because nobody is immune against grief. Um, and when you're in that phase of grief, you have all these feelings of emptiness, you have feelings of despair. And sometimes when somebody makes a little mistake, because we are grieving and we are in the state that we are in, we actually twist this into huge issues and we turn it into mountains. And then we feel guilty. So, because we think that we intentionally did this, but it's not intentionally done. It's because of the space that we are in. And sometimes people can't deal with that reality of their grief. Um, and you should respect that. So when you do come in contact with a grieving person, Respect their emotions, respect their space, respect their privacy. Offer your help sincerely. Take them food, that's always welcome. But do not judge them. That is the one thing that I want to say is do not judge them because you don't know what they are going through. You don't know how they are feeling. And it's okay to be angry with God. I remember in the winter in August, I was driving home one day from work and it was raining outside in Cape Town and it was quite cold. And there were these young mothers walking with their babies. And I remember screaming at God saying, why did you take my baby? Because I and there are mothers here who don't even want their babies, who can't look after their babies, who can't give what I can give. So it's okay to be angry with God. He understands, luckily. He understands. And he was very patient with me. Um, but he doesn't want us to suffer. And when something like this happens, this is not his attempt of punishing us for anything. So when we face our loss and we talk to God, we find freedom in ourselves, and that's when the healing begins. So you must always think of yourself as a victor, not a victim, not a victim. And only when you start thinking about yourself as the victor will you start to soar. So when you get to that process, you need to start forgiving yourself. You need to stop being angry with the world. You need to forgive people that have left you behind because some people will leave you behind in your grief and they will move out of your friendship circle. And that's okay because, you know, we always say people come into your life for a reason or a season. And if they
Yes.
were only there for a season and they move on, they have contributed to making your life better for the time that they spent with you. So that's okay. But you also need to decide who you want to share your mourning process with because not everybody is ready to have that on them. Not everybody is appropriate to share your grief process with. You need to get some basic caregivers in place, which is important. Those are the people that will bring you the food so that you don't need to do that. Those are the people that will say, can I go to the shops for you? Please accept the offers. Do not push them away because that is their way of supporting you. And then once you have got your basic caregivers in line, you need to have that inner circle, that Yancy, that friend that will sit with you and
Or
not say the
dress you.
whole word and she
No.
talks a lot. But she will sit with you and she will just be. And if you want to talk, you can talk. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk. And that connection and that support helps you move forward with your grief. So that's important that you get that in place as well. But when you are grieving, you're often very angry with the world, you're very angry with God, you're very angry with everybody and everything. So it's important that you understand your anger because it's so easy to take your anger out on somebody else. And I must say, my poor husband, um, he's just simply the best because he was so supportive even though he was grieving. And it was so easy for us to get into an argument. But because we were supporting each other and because we were speaking about how are you feeling, what emotions are you going through, where are you in your grief process, it made it so easier for us to process our grief. And it actually brought us a lot closer, you know, when Bibi was born, we were married for 12 years. Next year, we will be married for 34 years. And often when, I know, you too. And often when people go through something like this, the marriage ends up in divorce because people, the husband and wife, stop talking to each other and they don't understand where each other is in their process of grief. So, if there is anybody here today that is in this situation, please do speak to your spouse. Make him or her understand how you're feeling. Don't shut them out. Don't shut yourself off. Keep the communication channels open with your friends and your family because that's also how you find healing in your life. Um, when JFK was shot and Jackie Kennedy was mourning, she one day met Aristotle Onassis and they were talking, and he said to her, do not become consumed by his death. Cry the tears that you need to cry. But when you're finished crying, then you're finished. And then I'm going to come and fetch you, and we're going to go dancing, and we're going to go for supper. And that's exactly what he did. And as you know, the rest is history because they ended up being married. So it's so significant and profound that at that time, I also realized when I read that quote that yes, I need to cry. I need to stop crying eventually because I can't live in my tears all my life. There's something else out there. I have this beautiful little girl that is needing my attention. I have this loving, adoring husband that needs my support. So I have stopped crying eventually. And now, look at us. We're such a beautiful family. My girls are gorgeous, and my husband is still so very supportive, and he makes us part of his life. So if he starts all family stronger. So people listen, focus
I'm
on.
and I don't know what happened again. That said, gonna go and come in. I can see your lips go, but continue, continue, continue.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So I was very, or I am a very type of person that focuses on music, focus on poetry, reading a lot, listening to podcasts, listening to YouTube videos. And Madonna at that time had a song called Frozen. And the words in that song says that you only see what your eyes want to see. How can life be what you want it to be? You're frozen when your heart's not open.
Wow.
And this is exactly what happens when you grieve. Your heart closes because it's so sore. It is in so much pain that you cannot see anything else and you become frozen.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You can continue.
It's not easy. Grieving is hard work, and you need to realize that when you grieve, you need support. A lot of people say no when support is offered to them. Don't do that. Use the support. Use the people around you. They want to be there for you. And some of them will know what to say and some of them won't know what to say. And that's okay. That's fine. But when you do offer support to somebody that is grieving and you're phoning them, please don't tell them, oh, you don't sound fine. Of course, they're not going to sound fine. They're grieving. you know, or you don't look your sparkling self today. Of course not. You need to understand that. Those are things that you should not say to people. But grief should not be left unattended. And I keep coming back to this because this is the one point that I need to drive. Do not bury your grief. Do not leave your grief unattended because that will lead to a number of social problems. And it could even lead to people losing their jobs because they become depressed, they stay out of work, they start drinking, they go off the rails, they leave their families. And that is why I do the Grief to Gratitude Mastermind to
That's
help people overcome these roadblocks that have suddenly come across their lives. Because let's face it, nobody really prepares for grief in their life
no.
because there's no reason to. But when you're faced with it suddenly, you don't know what to do and you don't understand the process. And that is why I want to do the work that I'm doing.
I love it. And one thing I've learned, I know that you said you want to be a future life changer, but what I've learned, I also want to be a future publisher. And then I've learned I am a publisher. I am, because I am busy by skilling myself up. I am a publisher. I actually am, because of the Diamond Bubble magazine. It just like I thought about it now. Wow, wow, wow. Okay.
So,
You're
you know how
welcome to
we say
continue.
our affirmations and we say, I am a strong person. I am making a difference to other people's lives. Opportunities will come for you to do just that. So I believe very much in affirmations, but also visualizing in achieving your affirmations. You know, putting that picture behind your eyeballs, feeling the feeling, tasting the experience, just hearing the excitement of people listening to you, waiting to want to listen to you. That's it. That's it. So when I say I'm a future life designer, this is what I do. I want people to write their affirmations, and we work with 4 quadrants in our lives, and I want them to start visualizing achieving those affirmations. And that's very important when you go through your grief process. Because again, it helps you to find that gratitude in your grief. The affirmations is incredibly important.
I love it. But also what I find is affirmations is important, but you have to take the action. If you
Yes,
want to be confident, you can say, I am confident. Still, there's a man that eating cheese in the moon and nothing will happen. You have to start putting your shoulders back. If you need to dress beautifully to be that confident, you have to start dressing beautifully. So yes, take the action. So my beautiful Anna, we've got about another 3 minutes. You
oh,
are welcome to continue.
thank you so much. So, what I want to say, people, is that the word bereavement comes from the word grieve, and that means to be dispossessed or to be robbed of something belonging to oneself, according to the Oxford Dictionary. Grief affects you psychologically, physically, and spiritually. And it doesn't matter whether you lose a loved one, or a parent, or a spouse, or even a limb, because we forget people losing a limb grieve. They grieve for that limb. So, overcoming this loss of something so significant in your life, that process cuts through the center of your existence. Absolutely. And as I said earlier, a grieving person experiences different emotions, um, anger, depression, denial, all of those things. But you should not, not bury your grief. And whilst you go through the process, it does become easier because desensitization takes place. You know, when Bibi was stillborn and we went out for the first time for lunch, guess what I saw? Mothers being pregnant, mothers with little babies in prams that was just born. And even though I sat there and I just wanted to cry, I realized that this is part of the process to get me to move forward in my life. So, whenever you go through a process like this, it's very acceptable to be wrapped up in your own emotions. It's very easy to do that. However, you need to let go at some point. So, if you don't do that, like I said, you become self destructive. And once this process of desensitization starts happening, it is impossible to stop it because God will send you little messages along the way to get you back on the road that you need to be on. And the best way of helping yourself is having that one friend, having that young seed. And remember, God also went through grief because he had his beloved David, and David lost his sons, Absalom. And David cried out, "My son Absalom, my son." And when God lost Jesus, he covered the world in darkness. And Jesus said, my God, why do you forsake me?"
Wow.
But there was a reason why all these things happened. Jesus had to die so that we can live, so that we have a life free from sin. Bibi had to die so that I can talk to you today.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So, my beautiful Andam, I have written a song for especially the show Soul of a Diamond. Soul of a Diamond is going to be part of the story that goes into the magazine, Diamond Marble Magazine. We are in 35 countries. I am super excited. And I went for my hair today, and the lady is moving to Dubai. Yes, Dubai. So I don't have anybody in Dubai. So when she's there, I'm gonna. She's already on the group, so we will then be in 36 countries. But my
Wow.
beautiful Dr. Alexander have read the song for us, so I'm gonna quickly play it for you. Just a little bit piece. Here we go.
Moments of moving from here to there between the star and the moon's soft glare capture a glimpse of light so rare, radiant and shining, our hearts declare for the world to see in love's grand affair. Moments of our lives that are filled with laughter keep us going, hearts thrilled, capture the essence of who we are in the spirit of a child like a shooting star. Moments to share our true stories so bright, not only for the world to heal, take flight, but to remind us how amazing we are. Forever moving forward, a radiant star to create magic near and far. In the radiance of each heart's soft glow, we find the strength to carry on and grow. Shining bright, our love doth show in every moment, from dusk till dawn's soft flow. Radiant hearts, we shine so bright in the diamond moments of love and light. Together we rise, our spirits take flight in the beauty of each day and every night. With courage and
Beautiful.
Thank you, my beautiful one. I just need to get somebody to sing it for us, and it's going to be magical, magical. So, our time is up, my beautiful Anda. Thank you for coming through on short notice. I must just say, you only knew to come on Tuesday, because the lady that was supposed to come today unfortunately had a death in her family, and I'm truly sorry for that. And then I asked, will you come? And you said yes. So all the things is like rush, rush, rush. But you not only impress on my heart how amazing you are, but I know today after this beautiful show that you're not only going to show to the Diamond Beauties how beautiful, how amazing you are, but you're going to show all the people around the world your beautifulness and how you're serving the world. So I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you, my beautiful Diamond Beauties, for being here. And then thank you, my beautiful viewers, wherever you are in the world. May you be blessed. May you have a beautiful day, evening, and afternoon. And then please remember to always look after yourself, smile often, and keep on dancing. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and much love to everybody.
Thank you, Anda. Here we go.